All right, there we go. I got it back. Um. So I had a CT scan about, I think it was about a week ago, Friday of last week, with contrast because I'm having pains on my right side again. It's been a long time since I've had those pains. Um, the first time that I had them was because of endometriosis in the Army, and so I'm service connected for endometriosis. I'm currently trying to get uh, that increased because I can't work. Um, Even if I do, little things for other people for some money, I still have to call them and say, hey, I'm not well today. And I've noticed that, and it's not anything on them. I understand they need to get things done right away. And so eventually they just stop calling me because I can't show up when I say that I'm going to do it. I wish I could. Um, but yeah, I woke up this morning with puke in my mouth from acid reflux. Um, I did do a little bit of fasting yesterday to try to feel better. And so I'm hoping that this is just probably because I needed to drink a lot more fluid. And maybe take another thing of magnesium because I know I'm not taking enough magnesium. The trace minerals that I started taking, I believe that they use up the magnesium. And so I'm not taking enough. And even on the recommended dosage on the bottle, I was only taking one. And so I really needed to take two for that recommended dosage. So I'm going to go back to taking two during the day and then one before night because I do a mixture of taurate, malate, and glycinate in the morning. And then I need to take another one in the afternoon. And then I need to take just the glycinate before bed at night. So, but anyway, my circadian rhythm's off, which is, I've talked about that, and that's high cortisol, but I am trying to go through some and get counseling for PTSD. And so it's part of that. So, my story with Lupron, I'm going to get into that. That was just a brief, like, what's going on right at the moment. My story with Lupron began in 2017. I was having a lot of problems with just pretty much everything, and I just suspected that it was endometriosis because it always has been. I was diagnosed with endometriosis in 1995 with stage 4 because it was attached to the anterior wall of my abdomen and where my large intestine empties into my small intestine empties into my large intestine. I always get that backwards. I don't know why. Anyway, so they did a colonoscopy. They found diverticulosis because I was having trouble with just feeling like flu-like symptoms for at least a week, and I had to call off work for a week because I would just felt like vomiting every day, and I did a lot. What I didn't realize was that I was septic, and I really needed to go to the hospital, which I ended up doing on every occasion. And so the colonoscopy confirmed that I have diverticulosis, and I have it all over my intestine, my large intestine, in so many places that I cannot have a resection surgery. So I have to be very careful about what I eat and the diet that I have. Can't have anything hard in it. And if it does, I have to just chew it up until it's like applesauce or paste, peanut butter. Anyway, I'm not going to go much into the diet part of it. I'll do that in another video, but this one is basically just giving the background of what I did. So in 2017, I had the colonoscopy. I went through the VA. The VA doctor would not, the protocol to have a hysterectomy, because I was like, well, let's just take my organs out, because I mean, at the time, that's what's recommended. Now they're talking that that's not something that we should have to do. Just have the endometriosis cut out if possible. But my uterus I had fibroids. Those were confirmed with an ultrasound. I had a Nambothian cyst. I had actually cysts. I had and endometriosis on the exterior, I believe, of my uterus that they removed in previous surgeries. So I had scar tissue as well. And then polycystic ovaries. So it was time, to do something, because I was on the floor in the fetal position crying, and still had to drive myself to the ER. I don't know how I did it that day. That was awful. That was just awful. There was no pain medicine that could take that away unless they just put me down. Um, so, um, so going back to that, I I went to the GYN because I suspected that it was endometriosis. So the endometriosis, he said, in order to rule it out, would be by giving me Lupron, leuprolide acetate. I believe it was the highest dose, the 3.25 or 3.75. I can't remember the exact. I'd have to look that up, and I'll say in the comments if I can find it, what exactly they gave me. But he gave me that and sent me off to work. I'd already missed a lot of work just because I had been sick, and so, whatever I could do just to hurry up and get back to work. I knew that there were some issues with Lupron, but I never really researched it, and boy, I'll tell you, I'm kicking myself for doing that. So if anybody's thinking about it, you'll know why once I finish this, because I am going to tell more information about the drug itself at the end. So I went ahead and had the Lupron. The first shot, I guess I just kind of felt an increase in hot flashes. And I don't know. I guess I just didn't feel well. I knew something wasn't right. What the doctor said that I would have, I kind of had, but then I just it took my whole energy away. So I struggled to get up in the morning. And then the second shot is when I knew something was really bad, and it was right after the shot. And so I had nausea so bad in the morning. I just felt like I was gonna vomit. It was like morning sickness. I've had 2 children, both through regular birth, and a regular conception. I didn't use any IVF. And I know I'm pausing a lot, but I'm losing track of what I was saying, and that's just part of the brain fog, unfortunately. Anyway, so I had the 2 shots. Okay, I had the 2. The last one I had would have been in 2018, probably the beginning of 2018, I think. Because after I had that one, I said, okay, enough. I can't do a third. They were getting ready to give me a third. I canceled that appointment. And I said, no, I've got to have the hysterectomy because this is not, I can't. I started getting numbness in my feet and cramping in my legs at night. All of my blood work came back normal. I wasn't pre-diabetic or anything, so it went from that. And I know that neuropathy can show up before you have pre-diabetes. Anyway, would you stop biting me? That's part of my problem too. She just feels like she needs to chew on me. I don't know why. See that? What is up with this dog? We have to put her up. Anyway, I love her. She's hopping. She does. So I finally talked him into doing the surgery, and so he did the surgery. He removed my ovaries, one of my ovaries, my left fallopian tube, my left ovary, and had to cut it away from my large intestine because it was attached all in one big ball of adhesions. And so I had that one removed, and on the inside during the initial laparoscopy, the colonoscopy, they found a large pocket of diverticulosis on that very same location. And that was the side that I was having the trouble with before I had the surgery. So I went in to the doctor because I was having pain on my left side. And that's where the ovary and everything was. And it was starting, I don't know if it was strangling my large intestine. It's possible that that might have been a lot of my digestive problems was because of that. I don't know. I haven't really read the operation report, but it's all there anyway. So they took it out from there. He said that there wasn't any active endometriosis, then it's like you either have it or you don't. I mean, there's no active inactive. Lupron does change the appearance of endometriosis, and it makes it harder to exercise because it's harder to see without an MRI with contrast, because an MRI with contrast will actually show and provide a map for a specialist to look at what's going on inside, and they can use whatever devices that they use for surgery to remove it, and then it helps. Sometimes it can be missed because it can be in a deeper area, but there are specialists that will remove it in spots that are tedious because that's what they're trained in doing. They've done thousands of surgeries, and you have to appreciate the effort that they've put into learning about this disease and to actually do something that will cure it. And so I have to thank Dr. David Redwine for starting the initial surgery to remove. So moving forward in my own story, because I keep getting sidetracked, sorry, that is all part of it. And my dog's sitting on me and chewing on me, so that makes a whole lot of difference. She just wants to play. I may have to just put you out because you're not listening. Stop. Stop. There we go. See how she quit. Stinker. Anyway, so the last surgery that I had took out my uterus, which had the fibroids, had the Namevotian cysts, one of my ovaries that I was having polycystic ovary issues with, and then took my right fallopian tube as well. And so those were all removed in 2018, like in the beginning of 2018. And then I just never recovered. I mean, I did fit like with everything healed up. It did take a long time for everything to heal, a lot longer than what I expected. But even after I healed, I just felt really, really sick. I was like, man, something else isn't right. So they did an upper and lower GI, which they continued to confirm that I had diverticulosis, which was, something they had already diagnosed. But from the upper GI, I was inflamed from my mouth. I had sores in my mouth. I had sores down my throat, like an inflamed esophagus. I had duodenal, and I may be saying that wrong. I don't know how you say it. They're ulcers in the stomach, and that's where the stomach opens, where your esophagus meets the stomach is where those are. And everything else was just inflamed. It was like I had eaten poison, which it didn't even go into my mouth, which is odd. I wonder if it's just because it was soft tissue. And so when things cross the blood-brain barrier, they're small enough to get into the capillaries. And if you have poor circulation already, it will settle in your capillaries because it's heavy metal and it's will get stuck. And so it cuts off blood supply to the smaller vessels, the capillaries in our body. And so any organ that has a lot of capillaries going to it is going to be affected by something that crosses the blood-brain barrier. And that's why stuff like Tylenol is given for headaches, because it does cross the blood-brain barrier, and it reduces the tension on, I don't know how it works, but helps with the headaches, I guess. Which I don't take that. I don't take anything but uh, herbal supplements, and then actual like vitamin supplements. So I take those daily. Um, so for the first whole year, I was pretty much bedridden. Like today, like I couldn't get out of bed. It was so hard, um, because I had to call into work every day. Just protocol, and the boss said I had to do it, and so I did, and that was tough because it was a job that I absolutely loved. It was so, everybody was great, wonderful place to work. I loved, I loved, loved my job. I made really good money. I had a great medical. There wasn't dental, which most things don't anyway. But it was really hard to. I just spent 12 years in college because I moved around often, and so I had to. I basically was studying abroad, and anybody that has ever studied abroad knows that colleges will only take a certain amount of credits. You have to put boxing gloves on to make them take ones that they wouldn't. And so it was almost like starting over every time we moved. And so it took me a little bit longer to get through college, but my husband at the time was in the military, and then got a job working for aviation, which moves a lot. He was contract work. So anyway, um, it was really hard to retire early. Um, and so that was that. No job. I was bedridden. Thank God I owned my home, and still do. I had a vehicle that was paid off. Uh, Without planning, it just happened that I had these things, and so I'm thankful that I do. And so I did get an increase for a little bit more pay through the VA. They put me through the voc rehab program, and it just sucks because, there's all this college that I really can't do. Because if I'm bedridden, it's hard for me to work from bed, so I'd have to have a job where I could just where I was basically the boss, and that's what I ended up doing in the long run. I do crafts when I'm not well. I don't. And I may look at things online and use those as so the days that I am unwell, I'll just do online stuff. If I can even do that. A lot of times I just shut my phone off, shut my blinds, and shut down because it's easier to do that way. I don't take pain medicine. I don't believe in it. If I'm in pain, it's because something's not right, so I'll just massage my legs. So today is going to be a regimen of taking my vitamins, waiting until they kick in, trying to do some stretches, which I try to do what's called bed yoga, and if I have a chance, I'll try to do a video on the things that I do for that. The other thing that I do, I'll massage like oils, specifically magnesium oil, into my legs and my feet to help loosen that up, because it seems like those are the hardest part about getting out of bed, because it's hard to walk. You just go to the bathroom and come right back. Sitting up in the chair is hard because I feel like I'm gonna puke. So it's better to kind of lay down and look at the ceiling like I did when I was a little girl. Because my grandma, she's like, I always knew when you were sick because you just lay in the bed and look in the ceiling. I don't know why. Just focusing on the patterns on the ceiling, I guess, helped me to not think about being sick, because I hated being sick and I didn't like to be sick on the floor to make someone else have to clean it up. So I've always made it to the bathroom. I'm just one of those people. It's if I get sick somewhere, it's because I couldn't help it. And that's rare, very rare. I will literally make it to a trash can. I'm a quick thinker, I guess, when I'm sick. But So, anyway, that's pretty much my story. Um, Poisoned by Lupron. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that I talk to, even on days when I feel like this. Uh, Sometimes it does help to go on and just talk to other people and not really talk a lot about my own stuff. And so this is my chance to talk about my own stuff. And you get to see my face, um, which right now is really puffy. Like I can see I need to do my lymphatic massages because it'll help uh, get everything flowing when I'm not moving around a lot. Uh, my lymphatic is really sludgy, and I can tell. So today I will be drinking some tea that helps move the lymph. And if anybody's interested in that, just let me know. I will send you the information. My best thing is, though, to do your own research because not one person on this earth is the same. We can all kind of surmise through our symptoms that we can use certain things, but it's always a trial and error. I don't recommend taking things that are a combination. If you're going to start with herbal remedies on your wellness, on your road to wellness, if you're going to start the herbal remedies, I recommend doing one at a time and doing it for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two, because sometimes it takes that long. I keep moving the phone, sorry, because my dog's like, I'm just going to get in this. She wants, I'll just show you. There she is. There you are. She's trying to get me to shut my phone off and pay more attention to her, and I don't blame her. It's okay. She's my baby. She turns 2 in September. But anyway, that's pretty much it. And I'll do more videos. This is just my first. So you guys are just now seeing me. I know you've seen my I like to laugh. So a lot of my pictures that I have as my profile picture will be something funny every now and then, but that's the way I cope with things because I think laughter is one of the best healers. So if you can laugh about things, that seems to always help. It's easier to not be so rigid. And I like to equate that to Mr. Toad's Wild Adventure. So if you don't know about Mr. Toad's Wild Adventure, that's a whole thing. Martha Beck explains that in her book called Beyond Anxiety, I believe is what it's called. It's a new book that she just released, I believe, last year. Totally worth the read because it really talks about a lot of the stuff that I have going on with myself. And so I found it very helpful, but, not everybody likes to read to learn about things in life and what things can help. It's easier for you to go to a professional and deal with it. So I've always just been a studious person, and I don't mind the research. I do have a bachelor's degree in computer network management, and I graduated with a 4.0. So it's really easy for me to go out there and do the research. And so for people that it's not, that's why I'm doing it, so that I can help others. And I hope that if anything, through my experience, and I hate that, I've had to go through it, I'm going to help others get through it too. We'll do it together, guys. Don't give up. Keep your chin up. Find something to make you feel better. Like, I actually feel better now that I've kind of unloaded some of this. I will be making more of these videos because I think it's time that we all talk about this and that we all kind of share our story. So if this anything helps you feel brave to share your story and not be afraid and speak out, please do it. We want to hear from you. We want to meet you. We want to know you. We've all talked for how many years now? Maybe 7, some of us. And so uh, this is me not being quiet because I feel like shit today. And I'm sorry for my language. I'm not really at this point, but yeah, uh, this is this is not what life is supposed to be like. Um, and if I can keep anybody from having this by talking about what I've gone through, uh, then then I win. Even if I will never win against the pharmaceutical company that's continuing to make this. And like I said, I promised that I'd talk about this in the end, and this is my point of view. If you knew that they falsified the data to have it approved through the phase 3 drug trials, look up Dr. Friedman, Lupron, and the NIH if they haven't taken that down, because they seem to take those things down. And if they have, let me know. I've made copies of it, and I'll send it to you because it's what the NIH has said about Dr. Friedman and what he did. He lost his license. He said that people were coming into his office when they weren't. He said they were having symptoms. I mean, they weren't even there, but he was saying they were having these specific symptoms that were aligned with whatever made it okay to have the drug approved. And this was all brought up in a court of law, and mysteriously all this data disappeared. But we're gonna fight this, guys. Don't give up hope. And again, it's nice to meet you. I'm sorry that it's on a day that I don't feel very good, but this is the person that is talking to you on the other end of the phone. And so if I can be a lifeline to anybody, I'm here for you, even if I don't feel well. And I'm here all day. So it was good talking to you. And nice to meet you.